historical marker here, Oakhill Railway Depot. Built in 1903 by the White Oak Railway Company, the depot is one of the oldest surviving structures in the community. It was leased by the Virginian Railway community in 1912, then purchased in 1922, and as the oldest existing Virginia depot in West Virginia. I boomed to the early days. I think it's interesting that it was still being used until 1983. Walking along the rail trail here, the old passenger depot, well, freight depot, I mean, built by the White Oak Railway. And here's the actual trail. Apparently, they used to run trains on both sides of this back in the day, and the tracks reconnected a little bit farther down from where I started the video. Make a long story short, this line, well, a lot of this line was still used up until until 2003, not the part I'm on though. I thought it was interesting the depot was used until 1983. I didn't know that until I read the historical marker. Old call booth. This is something rare to see though along rail lines, the actual concrete phone booths for the train crews to call out. Most of them were just ordinary railroad call boxes. You'd have like a metal box on a pole, and you just open up the lid and talk. So actual phone booths that the train crews used is extremely rare. But here's the only piece of the track that's still left. I can remember when the train came up through here. Of course, there hasn't been a train across this railroad crossing here in a long time. I know that until 2003, that Norfolk Southern would come up to just before here, and where I point is where the rest of the trail is. I had to redo the audio in this video to make it work. But I remember up to probably directly behind the station, this late 2003, maybe a little bit in 2004, they bring trains up and stop here. Well, maybe not that far by late 2003, early 2004, because the mine was in the process of shutting down at Carlisle, and the trains wasn't long enough to make it this far. But I do remember the small yard and the switchbacks. They would break them up, run up here, and all the way down the next railroad crossing, which I was doing a divot video when I have time to actually walk the rail trail. I was mainly here for the Parade of Lights and Oakhill Festival, so I came down here, done this quick video, and then went back up for the Parade of Lights, which I've done a live stream on, by the way. But if I had time, right behind Tom's hot dog stand was where the switchback is, which is over at least a mile from here. So the trains would stop and switch and go down the other way to get on the line that goes along 61. Which would take it to Alroy. They put a new crew in, which I thought was interesting. And yep, over there's that box thing where you could do your pet wash and things. So that little booth building is. You know, and I Buddhas, I never did take him up here to Oakhill to give him a bath and grooming. I just let PetSmart do it. And he loved going to PetSmart, and everybody there said he loved seeing them, because Buddhas is a good dog. I miss that dog. But I remember until a few years ago, they still had the rail line here behind these poles, but the city of Oakhill decided to yank up the line. They also decided to scrap old steam engine, which probably dates back to the Virginian days. I don't know what happened to the caboose. I know the person that had the caboose selling ice cream and food out of it, they didn't reopen after 2020. Well, I'm not going to say what happened. Everybody already knows what happened to 2020, so there's no reason to repeat that. Not a good year that year. Oh well. Life happens. I'm just glad the whole plague thing's over, and we can live a somewhat normal, well, the whole craziness is over, I should say. We can live normal lives. I think what's that, well, I'm not going to say it, but everybody knows what I'm referring to in 2020. That's going to be like the common flu. It's going to probably always be around as an issue like the common flu. Which is interesting. Yeah, they actually made this parking. They removed the second track, run this out to add more parking. Oh well. I just want to do a short video showing the old train station here, the old depot, and a little piece of the rail trail. By the way, there used to be mining towns up here. There was Summerlee and Oakwood's the other way. Summerlee and Lockalley's up this way. Oakland and Carlisle was the opposite direction on the line. So I thought I'd point that out. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy my videos, please like to subscribe to Waldo's Trains here on YouTube.